So I was at work the other day, and a funny thing I saw, this guy, he went and got like this huge plate of potatoes and like fried chicken or whatever. He got a Monster. So after he got sleepy, you know, it can give him a boost of energy. Now, of course, this had a bunch of sugar in it as well. All right, let's go. So I was talking with this girl at work, and she was telling me how she wanted to lose weight. Now, she was overweight. So she told me, she said, I don't want to do the keto diet because I feel like eating all that fat is going to make me fat. And I hate to sound bad, but I was like, I mean, what you got to lose? Like, I am Darius the Sugarless Crystals, your sugar-free destination of YouTube. And today we're talking about the origins of the ketogenic keto diet. Not low carb, the straight keto diet. Now, this was recommended and the idea was brought to me by a friend, Mishka. I hope I said your name right. I swear I did. But anyway, let's lead on. So thank you for the idea, because you know I've never touched on this, and I don't know how many some people, I know Tristan used to mention it in his videos a while back, but I haven't heard anybody recently do it. But then again, I don't research it because I don't have to. So I'm gonna kick this off. People want the ideal body. That's what it's all about. Everybody's trying keto because of the weight loss. The weight loss, weight loss, weight loss. Most of you guys know how it started for me. If you guys don't know, it came from me watching my grandmother just be sick, and you know, I just wanted to have optimal health. Not to mention, I was a very large child. Growing up, I kept being called the fat kid, and so a combination of that, I learned quickly that healthier people tend to be slimmer. Now, don't take that out of context, because if you're seeing the person that eating junk food, that's just good genetics. But healthier people, when you're eating properly, weight just tends to fall off and you look healthy. So it went from me wanting to diet to seeking optimal health to age well, so I would never be sick like my grandmother was sick. But I will definitely dig into that a little bit more. I have whole videos for that actually. So in the 1920s, a doctor, I don't know how to say his name, I'm gonna put it up on screen, okay? A doctor determined, which he himself was his first patient, noticed that fasting reduced epilepsy. Little did I know a while back, epilepsy was a huge thing, and it's been a huge thing for years. Like, it's bad. I want to say I read somewhere around 400 BC, there were episodes of it back then. I want to say they used to think that it was possession. I mean, okay, I laughed a little, but it's not funny. They noticed that when fasting, it reduced epilepsy greatly. So he came up with the 18 to 25 day water fast, or the water diet. He studied a bunch of kids and adults. He reduced epilepsy like crazy. He got a cure rate of 90% in children and around 50% in adults. Those are some big numbers. So of course this sent waves. When they saw this, oh, they were like, we gotta put money in this, we have to figure this out, because you know, it's an issue. I want to say there was probably 1 or 2 drugs at the time for epilepsy in around the 1920s, but of course, I don't think anybody watching this was around at that time. I know I didn't come 2 years later. My mother wasn't even born. My grandmother hadn't been born yet. Now, for me, knowing psychology and just doctors and things like that and studying case studies, the case study only works if you can replicate it. And this continued to be replicated, so they knew there was definitely something to it. And a quick note, what we know today is ketone bodies rise during a fast. After the glucose storage is gone, the ketone bodies begin to rise. Now, they didn't know this back then though. Fast forward just a year now, so this is 1921. Dr. Dr. Russell Morse Wilder, he gave the name the ketogenic diet, simply because there was a high rise of ketone bodies in the blood system when there was excess fat and then a lack of carbohydrates. Now his partner was the one that ended up kind of fine-tuning the macros, and around this time it was around 10 to 15 grams a day of carbohydrates. And for something I want to speak on later on, I want you to pay attention to the dates. This was 1921. The crazy thing is, like, the diet was aimed to help everyone, but the most response were in the children. And I guess that's why when I first heard about it, you know, listening to Tristan, it was so successful in children, they stopped pushing for adults altogether. And the success rate in children, he did about, I want to say, one of the most famous studies, 90% seizures reduced. Out of the 37, 60% became seizure free off the ketogenic diet. Those numbers sent waves. It eventually, you know, it kept going, and they just started doing it for the children. Of course, adults still did it too, but the adults weren't as successful. And that comes from, on average, children are the least metabolically damaged. Now, it's just I want to say it's just as bad now. But back then, you know, it was, children had a great advantage over their mothers and fathers. I can't remember where, but the whole reason they went this route instead of medication before was because in other countries they noticed that so many diseases were treated with whole foods or good foods, quality foods, or with changing your diet in general. So of course they adapted that here. But I want you to follow, I'm going ready to give you some facts, and I want you to notice the trends of things. So around 1938, now the ketogenic diet, it wasn't extremely like popular, but it was mainly, you know, for epileptic children. But they created a drug. I'm going to put the doctor's names up. They created a drug around 1938. 1938, they created a drug, and I'm going to put the name up as well. I want to say it's Dilatin, which of course helped produce the decline. Funny, something was working so well with a healthier diet, but they just felt the need. Let's create a medication to make it easier. And we'll charge them for it, of course. I mean, you know, because that's the most important thing. Now, in the 1960s, now the ketogenic diet was still being used. It just wasn't as popular because, of course, doctors were pushing medication now. Go figure. And here comes along MCT oil, something else they can sell. MCT oil, for those that don't know it, is medium chain triglycerides. I can pronounce that. Now you have medium, short, and long, and typically in coconut oil or coconut, it's made up a majority medium. That's why some people, when they tell me, it was like, coconut oil upsets my stomach and things like that when I eat out, so I don't mess with it. I was like, it's the MTTs in it, more than likely. You have to be careful with it because the reason they pushed it so well was simply because the medium, they flow through the blood faster. They help create ketones faster. And in doing so, it can upset your stomach, especially when you first do it. Like that gallbladder, man, you really gotta give it time to create the enzymes and help you out with it, because even now, like if I overdo it, it might send me to the bathroom pretty fast. And that's kind of like how sugar alcohols work too as well, but that's not the subject of the video. The beauty of the MCT oil was because the fats were like super absorbent within the blood, you could eat a higher carbohydrate diet with it. You didn't have to restrict your carbs as much. You know, sugar had started to rise around then too. That's odd. Or is it? So the diet just kind of floated around. It never really went anywhere, but it wasn't popular mainstream. It was more so focused on, like, you know, you had the bodybuilding community because of course there were huge fat loss results that came from this diet. And that's how I found out about it myself. Because in the bodybuilding community, everybody knows you cut carbs, you lose fat. It's just that simple. When you're bulking, you add on the carbs. How did keto come back in the mainstream anyway? How did it come back in the mainstream? That's funny. Now a celebrity by the name of Jim Abrahams, I don't know, one of those two. In 1994, he went on NBC's Dateline and spoke on how the ketogenic diet saved his son when it came to epilepsy. A celebrity spoke on it. It must be true. Yeah, must be true. So a celebrity spoke on it on national television, and following, He created a foundation, and he made a movie about it featuring Meryl Streep, yeah, called First Do No Harm. Are you seeing the trends and things? And I'm not knocking him for it. Like, you know, I'm not knocking any of them for it, because I understand. But that doesn't mean it's morally correct. So where does Atkins fit into this? Because Dr. Atkins did not create the ketogenic diet. The way Atkins work is, because I've done Atkins, and I'm not speaking on the products they have in the stores and things of that nature, but Atkins works in phases. The general idea is it isn't calorie counting. Some people would debate it's a high protein diet. Like, no, it's like a high fat, high protein diet. But calories don't count, but you have to count your carbohydrates, because it's designed in the 3 phases to increase your carbohydrates with each phase. And pretty much what you do is you cut all of them to about 10 to 20 grams, I want to say, and then the next phase you up them about 10 to 20 grams, or you up to about 50, something like that. But you end up going to you end up getting back to about 100, which is technically a low carb diet. Around 100, under 100, that's technically low carb. And to be honest, that's actually ideal for like the whole food dieters, the ones that don't do keto. That's more so ideal. Me myself, I don't like going that high. I'm not against it. It's just, to me, that creates other problems. Because when I have that many calories I can eat, things tend to happen. That many carbohydrates I can eat, things tend to happen. And to avoid those and restrict my carbohydrates, it allows me to stick to the diet far, far better. Now, do you see the trend in things? Everything was perfectly fine, and then big business caught a hold of it. And to be honest, big business never let it go. Big business is still in a keto diet right now. Slim Fast just released a keto line. Keto right across the box. Keto right across the box. You can't miss them. But see, big business has always been operating in the background. Pharmaceuticals have always been operating in the background. And that's the messed up part, because my stepfather has epilepsy. And so when I first learned about the keto diet, I took it to him. I was like, wow, like, this can fix you, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna feature him in a video soon. But I was like, this can fix you, man. Like, yo, the keto diet is the answer. Like, you don't have to take all these medications anymore. But nah, he's older than me. He's not gonna listen to me, you know, because regardless of how old I am, I'm still a child. Regardless of what I know, I'm still the child, and he's still an adult. Not to mention, you know, after you've been eating a certain way so long, it's just kind of ingrained in you, I guess you want to say. I don't like how big business gets a hold of things, because now, like, they have all types of different things put in the product. I mean, it's a hot mess, it really is. Some of the things they're marketing as keto isn't keto at all. They're still using these vegetable oils to make them vegetable oils and other things to make them shelf stable. And that's not the basis of the ketogenic diet. That's not how it all started. That's not the real, you know, getting real foods in our diet. That's what it's all about. And me, yes, I do keto for the most part, but I'm all about real food. I'm all about healthy living. It's far, far more than just keto itself. I mean, I recently started doing sprouted grain bread. Not much. Another thing I'm doing is olive oil. Like, whoa. I've been eating olive oil before, but it was like crappy. I didn't know that olive oil was so washed out in stores. And I found like a quality olive oil brand. Oh my God, I can drink that stuff straight out the bottle. Like, to be honest, I'm scared to link it below because I don't want everybody to take it away. Like, I'll link it below for you guys though. But this, oh man, this is amazing. And the sprouted grain bread I use, I just got it from Trader Joe's. There's no oils in it, anything unnatural. Like, they had ones in there like that, so I would definitely read the ingredient list. This diet has been around since the 1920s. 1920 to be exact. The start of the 1920s. You guys ever heard the Lindy effect? The Lindy effect is an equation on how you can figure out how long something will last. And basically the idea of it is, if something's been around a year, more than likely it's going to be around another year. The ketogenic diet approaching next year will be around 100 years. I think it's safe to say it's not going anywhere. It's going to continue to be used less for what the main purpose of it was, and that's for epilepsy. I recommend I think the ketogenic diet is great, but everyone can't do keto. There are actually some people where too many ketone bodies in their blood will kill them. My idea is real food, cooking yourself, going to a farm, local farm, because this stuff in the grocery store, like I got a whole video I'm gonna do on that. Like I'm gonna go to the farm and everything and show you guys. We gotta eat real food. Like and then the medications, the thing about the doctors, okay, so from a business standpoint, and you guys can cut this off if you want because I'm done talking about keto for the most part, but from a business standpoint, reading business books, subscription businesses are always the best because people don't tend to think about it because it starts to become ingrained in their reality. Physicians with their own practice and hospitals, they work on a subscription basis. This is why you have to come up with a check-in for every couple of months. This is why they give you medication. After a while, you have to go back to the doctor to get it refilled. This is why you see the American Heart Association on top of Kellogg's. But Kellogg's, you know, because they work with each other. The American Heart Association needs money to continue to work. Endorsers. They need these things. It all comes down to money. And I can tell you from firsthand, these pharmaceutical companies, they don't care about us. They don't love us like they say they do. Trust me, I know. Firsthand, trust me. If you don't want to do keto, that's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to at all. But I do recommend you eat real food. And an excess amount of carbohydrates isn't needed. 100 or a little lower than that does just fine. The more active you are, the more you'll probably need. But the less, I mean, shoot, you can go a couple days with just 0. I mean, I do from time to time. But how popular keto will stay, to be honest, I don't think keto's going anywhere anytime soon. And this is why. Big business just started pushing it recently. I'm not gonna say recently, but they're adapting to it quickly. So they have to continue to push it for a little while in order to really drain us for our money for it. So that they're gonna keep it going for a little bit. Because what tends to happen is they tend to watch what diets tend to bubble up, and then when they get to a certain point, product. You know? But low carb was around for a while. Atkins was around for a while. And then now we're at keto. But the same premise is fat is better than we thought it was. Carbs are the enemy. No one's preaching real food as much as they should. But then again, they have organics because people are paying attention. And I can speak firsthand. Like, I think we're all fed up. We're all sick of it. Like, we're tired of being sick. We're tired of losing the people we love to being sick. That causes cancer. Sunlight causes cancer. This causes cancer. But what? Everything causes cancer. Everything that's been around long before we got here is causing cancer, or is it? Like something's wrong with that. We're tired of being sick, man. Like there's something wrong. And I'm definitely gonna make a video on food quality very, very soon. I just have to get with the farm and talk about it. People want to know why I don't have keto in my name. Well, that's because the name keto may not last forever. But what we do know is for a long time now, sugar has been bad for us. And, well, I'm Sugarless Crystals.